What's up, everybody? Welcome to the podcast now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Dying Light the Beast and why this game has now got my full attention. Now, to be honest, it was always kind of there. I make a video a few weeks back about the upcoming games of the year that I'm anticipating, and this game is on that list, but when I made that video, I had said, there's so many games in August, and, I kind of had a mixed response to Dying Light 2, and I don't know, I don't know how to really feel about Dying Light the Beast. Well, it's not like they've never shown anything on this game. This has been a game that's been in the works for a long time, and I think about a month plus ago we got like a 30-minute gameplay feature video on it. But today we got the previews, and so you're having the press, you're having the influencers kind of come out, and they got to play 4 hours of this game, and we're getting a lot of details, and we're also just getting a lot of opinions. And look, I don't know, you're gonna hear things like this probably for any game that gets previewed, but this was always a game, again, that was kind of enough on my radar that now hearing and seeing the stuff that we saw today, I feel like I kind of have to put it up there. Like, Dying Light 1 I thought was a fantastic game, and then when it came to, like I said, Dying Light 2, I played that game for like 20 plus hours. It just never really grabbed me. Now, 20 plus hours, that's not enough to do everything, but it didn't get me. And honestly, I would say Dead Island 2, I think I prefer, at least personally, far more than Dying Light 2. So I was waiting, or at least hoping that, one day maybe Dying Light, again, to me personally, could kind of come back in a big way. And this game does look extremely good. Obviously, it's got the whole, depending on what edition of Dying Light 2 you got, you're going to actually be getting this thing for free, right? And this is, at this point, from the details we got today, this really is just this full-scale release. Now, they've said that time and time again, and to be honest, I've actually always believed them, but now people today, through the interviews and just all of this different info, no, it's a full-size game. It's a 20-plus hour story, and then probably the same amount of length inside stuff. So you're looking at a game that if you rush is 20, if you do everything is probably 40 or 50. And the talk around it, and again, would you maybe get this for any game in any preview? Perhaps, but you're really hearing like this is the best of all of these Dying Lights, right? You take some of the best elements of Dying Light 1, you take the best of the following DLC, you take the best of Dying Light 2, you put it in this, and you kind of trim around like where there were mistakes in each of these games, right? So you're taking the more visceral combat of like the second game, but you're eliminating kind of like the RPG perk system. You're kind of going back to Dying Light 1's story, the way you kind of tell it. The length and whatnot is a little bit more geared towards Dying Light 1. You've heard a lot today specifically on the length and just the feel, and that, again, a lot of it is actually feeling more like Dying Light 1, but also like on steroids. I think IGN said like it was super Dying Light, right, to kind of give it that title. But and those are the things you hear, right? It's like, okay, well, those are cool. I read a couple previews. Games Radar, I think, maybe was an outlet that said it was their favorite Dying Light game ever. I don't really know if 4 hours can make something your favorite when you've played the other ones as much as you probably have, but that's okay. So you have those, but then you also have, what you were able to see. And for me, it kind of needed to be a blend. Like, I think I needed to hear personally the size and the scope and kind of what they were going for, right? Because kind of like the darker, grittier tone, more emphasis on the story, more emphasis on Crane, right? Things like this, more leaning towards Dying Light 1. And then you look at the visuals. I think some of the tone or like the coloring is not exactly like Dying Light 2, but obviously this is a extension of the engine, so it looks as good as 2, if not even better. And we've heard a lot of outlets today say that this is the best looking, right, Dying Light game yet. So I think in a lot of ways, I was just looking for like the stat sheet, like just to see, okay, here's the size, here's the scope, here's where the focus is, here's what they've taken from the first game, here's what they've taken from the second game, here's what they have not taken. It's not to, beat up on the second game. What is interesting about this, to be honest with you, is this is a weird thing, but also for me personally, like, I'm very happy about this with the industry. You're almost seeing this like rubber band effect where you have like almost these middle games that are considered these very big, like bloated things, and they can still be added to. They can still have players, but you can also look at it and say, you know what, did we go the wrong way? And it's a weird timing because like Mafia, I think Mafia is another good example, right? Where like, now that was a lot longer ago, and this is also happening though right now. You look at Mafia 1, 2, then you look at Mafia 3, and it's rubber banded back to, okay, we got to go back to like Mafia 1 and 2 for size and kind of like what we we need to double down on and kind of leave in the past, we're going to do that, like, with the third game. And Dying Light, somewhat similar. It's not to really bag on Dying Light 2. They're going to still support that game for freaking decades, probably on end, just like they did with Dying Light 1. But, there's things to learn, and that game will always be there for people that want that game. But let's try to do somewhat of a hybrid style. Maybe they overshot it with Dying Light 2, much like Mafia, I think, overshot it with Mafia 3. And the cool thing is they recognize that, right? And they're trying to find the middle ground with this new entry. So, again, those are things I think I needed to hear, and then just continue really seeing what I've seen. Every time we've seen this game, it's looked really good. Like, there's never been a time where I was like, oh, I'm a little worried about that. The game visually looks awesome. I'm a huge fan of the parkour, and I think the parkour was really awesome, even in the second game. But, just the different weapons and the different types of zombies, day and night, making night very scary and very intense, which they've talked about kind of more in line with the first game versus the second game. I mean, again, everything that we've seen visually, I was never really too afraid with that. It was kind of the structure and some of those, like, again, stat sheets of the game that I kind of want answers to. So yeah, it's high up there now. I'll be covering it over the next month, and within, I think, maybe a month to the day or around this time, we'll be playing it next month. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.